I'm going to start off with that, actually. Good morning. My name is Robert Graham, and what I want to start off with that is on the first day of my seminar with Jill Campbell on literature, life, writing, identity, we discussed our names for a long time. And my name on this piece of paper and other piece of paper is Robert, but I go by Bobby. And just last night at dinner with my colleagues, we were discussing the name conversation again and how I go by Bobby because it's me, it's more comfortable, it's more casual. And Robert, I feel, is very formal, although I do feel pretty Robert, like in this setting right now here. So, in our seminar to start out, we talked a lot about identity. I mean, it's in the title. And our seminar was very deep, and we spent a lot of time on all aspects of identity, speaking about who you are and where you came from, what your story is, and what that has to do with who you are and how you portray yourself in the world. In my classroom, my goal was to use this seminar to make myself better at having my students communicate who they are and express that visually through art. My classroom is a little bit different in that it's completely choice-based. I teach elementary art again, so I do not assign a project and say we're all going to paint or draw this because that's what I want. Every student in my classroom is responsible to sketch and propose their own idea, grades K through 5, to me as an artist and move forward in that process. My unit has turned into not just a unit, but more likely it's looking to be an entire year focused on identity. My challenge as an elementary art teacher is I see my students for 45 minutes a week, which comes out to about 20 to 30 hours a school year if you're on a Monday or a middle of the week class or Friday. So seminar and Y&I drastically affected my ability to sharply and rigorously question my students to get the material I need out of them. I don't want to tell them an answer because I feel like mainly they are very programmed to wait for information and to just repeat it back at the teacher. And as an artist and an art teacher, I don't find that creative in any sense. So the amount of time this summer that we spent discussing and reading several books, Frankenstein being one that I had never read before and related to a lot, and find myself thinking about this classic novel in a class of 25 5-year-olds while I'm discussing identity with these kindergartners. The new standards in Delaware we just recently adopted are the national art standards, so it's like a common standard for the whole country. And one of the things I struggled with was the presentation standard, trying to implement that with my age students and my time schedule. My title of my unit is Curating an Identity, Expression in the Elementary Art Room, and the idea of curation and the objects we collect or pick up and why that matters to us is something I've researched a lot here at Yale. So we are just getting into the identity unit at my school. I had a couple, art materials to teach first so we can start thinking about them. And immediately the response from my children is way more than I expected. And I know that's because I am already very ready to question and to combat their answers to get the deepness that I need from them. So in curation, we are looking at objects that you collect in your daily life, things that you pick up on vacation, souvenirs you buy. Everybody has something that they have in their house to collect. My presentation, or my display and breakfast is interactive, which I hope everybody can take a look at and write what you collect. There's 3 questions on there, which I will take that back to my classroom. It'll be in my classroom as a display. What you collect and why, your personal definition of identity, and how you express that. In terms of expression of identity, we look at who you are, you feel you are, who others see you as, and your story and your background. And a lot of that seems very deep to my children, but once we get into it, they can really get into it. I have one student that is very excited about this topic. She has this strong drawing style that is a little messy. And she's drawn very scribbly for the 4 years that I've known her. And now that we're on this topic, I'm watching her artwork develop into this narrative that she has in her artwork, and she explains it to me in this excited face about what's going on. I do have notes here that I should be reading. I'm like, oh, thanks. So my student response to this unit is the art making is happening on a level that I've been trying to reach for a long time in this choice-based art education journey that I'm on. The connections that my students are making between themselves and their artwork is happening quickly at a time that I needed to due to my schedule. And also the answers I'm getting are it's like everything I hope for pretty much with this identity and their expression of it. That's about it. Yeah.